Hey everybody, it is Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and I'm coming to you today from my car because today is Wednesday and it's my longest working day. I'm out like 12 hours, so not going to probably be doing anything in the garage tonight when I get home. But I wanted to make a quick video, and it's kind of a response to a comment that I got on my video yesterday where I said I was right. The ATF pistol brace rule is not going to go away, and pretty much that you guys just need to accept it. And in the video, I was kind of joking, saying I know everything, blah, blah, blah. Well, I got a comment, and this person said, "This is exactly why I don't watch people like you. I like to watch the lawyers because they give me facts and you give me emotion." Which is kind of funny because the whole point of my video is that I don't give you emotion, I give you facts. It's kind of interesting because I wanted to respond to that person and say, you're the one that is responding emotionally because you have a bias. You have an emotional bias. You have a desire, and you're looking for that confirmation. Because let's talk about those lawyers. We know there's a few, well, more than a few, YouTubers out there that are attorneys, and they make videos on these topics. And some of them make videos literally every single day. And we all know who the big ones are, okay? There's some that are better than others, some that I have recommended in the past that I think are very neutral and just give general facts, right? And a lot of them actually are on my side. They just say it how it is. Like they even had videos yesterday that were like, hey, this was unexpected. This ATF pistol brace rule ain't going anywhere. But then there are the ones that get the most clicks, okay? And they're the ones that tug on people's heartstrings and their hopes. You know, it's kind of like, and this happens on both sides of the political aisle, okay? Let's talk about religion, for example. There are not just, one religion. There are many religions out there. They get people to come to see their services, their rituals every single week. And for 2,000 plus years, they've been saying, this is the end of days, the whatever main event that's supposed to happen. And it's not just, I'm not just talking about Christianity, I'm talking about all the religions. Like it could happen any day, any minute now. It's coming, be prepared, it's coming, it's coming. And we've been waiting for these things to happen for 2,000 years. People 500 years ago were literally waiting for the event to happen. And here we are, just life goes on. Same thing, let's go to the other side of the political aisle with the climate alarmism, right? You guys know that, and I remember when I was in school in the 1980s, people saying, oh my gosh, in a couple years, the entire earth is going to be a snowball because it's getting colder. Then it's going to be global warming. Now it's called climate change. And we've had people like Greta Thunberg saying, if we don't do anything, this is back in like 2015 or whatever, by 2020, the global oceans will rise 30 feet and we're all going to die. Well, here we are in 2023 and we're still here and life is going on like normal, right? There's always people that in the moment are tugging on other people's heartstrings and finding those people that believe the same way. The people that are all about the climate change, global warming stuff. They're going to listen to what Greta Thunberg says or any of these other climate alarmists and hold on to what they say almost with hope. Yes, it's coming. It's coming. And then same thing for our side, people that are extremely religious. Every single day, they are waiting for the end times, the rapture, whatever it is, the 12th imam or whatever. Today is the day. But it never happens, And it's the same thing that these YouTubers do to people that are really invested emotionally in this. There's one YouTuber I've talked about before, the Armed Scholar. Literally every single day, he has a video title that says, groundbreaking, we win. And the bottom is 6-3 Supreme Court decision, eliminates ATF pistol brace rule, eliminates NFA. But here we are, we still have the NFA, we still have the ATF pistol brace rule, we still have all this stuff, right? It hasn't gone away. It hasn't done anything. So he can make videos every single day telling you, today is the day we're getting the injunction, or tomorrow is the day, this is the court case, it's based off of precedent, groundbreaking, breaking news, we win, blah, 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 every single day. And it gets people all fired up. Today, it's going to be overturned. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's like listening to a preacher, okay, that knows how to be, the fire and brimstone, the passion. People go and listen, but the rapture doesn't come, okay? But it's an open-ended hope. Okay, so the rapture didn't come today, but it could come tomorrow. And you come back tomorrow and it didn't happen today, but it could be tomorrow. It's like those joking signs you see at many bars and restaurants. It says free beer tomorrow, right? So the idea is you come back tomorrow and there's going to be free beer, but that sign is still there. So when you get there, it's tomorrow is when there's going to be free beer. But you come back the next day, that sign's still there. So it's not today, it's tomorrow. And that's the way it goes. So it's not me being emotional. It's me being factual. And I understand that people want to have the hope, that they want to believe in this, that tomorrow is the day the courts are going to overturn this because the Armed Scholar or Guns and Gadgets says it's going to happen that day at that point. But it never happens. And people seem to have this memory of a goldfish where it's, three days long. It's why right now we're in this cycle in the gun world, where every week we have something else to be upset about. 1 week it's Matt Hoover. Then it's the ATF pistol brace ban. And then the next week it's the new rule the ATF put out regarding what essentially is going to be universal background checks. Everyone's forgotten about bump stocks. I know you haven't forgotten about it, but you don't care. People, it's not the thing that's on the forefront anymore. And just goes from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And the lawyers, the ones with the biggest channels that rely on their YouTube channel for their sole income, which is fine, by the way, it's totally fine. They're going to produce content that keeps you on the edge. And the only reason you watch, and they have a video that says, groundbreaking, breaking news, we win, Supreme Court 6-3 decision, which they just should say the Bruin decision. It's not like the Supreme Court weighed in on it or anything. It overturns this or sets up for the NFA. No more NFA. But it never comes to pass. And you never think about that. The Armed Scholar was saying 2 years ago, no more NFA. But here we are. The NFA is still here, and it's been around since 1934. And so who is the emotional one? Who is the one that is being manipulated for views, for clicks, for these thoughts? And this person said it was me. And I understand that when you hear somebody say something that you don't like, your initial response is to attack, to discredit, to disparage. I totally get it. Okay, we're all guilty of that, myself included, okay? And I have done this, and wrongfully so, and then later I realized, what? That person was right, whatever it was, okay? And I made that video, and people, not a lot, actually a lot of people agreed with me, but I had a few people that, tried to disparage me, saying, you're the one that's all emotional about this. I go and listen to those lawyers. Well, the lawyers have a vested interest in making you feel emotional and hopeful, so you come back to their channel every single day to watch their content. Because while you might be super busy, I totally understand if you don't watch many of my videos. You have a busy life, right? Lots going on. So you see me have a title about, I'm doing something with a AR-15, and you're like, I don't care about that, whatever. You pass over, right? But what if I made a video saying nationwide assault weapon bans overturned? Okay, so it's like, big win, California no longer has assault weapon ban, right? That's the title of the video. Well, even if you're busy and you don't have time and you're cooking dinner for your kids and you got stuff around the house to do, you see that come across your feed, what are you most likely going to do? You're going to click that video because you're like, oh my God, is this really happening? And the answer is no, it's not happening. I clickbaited you. I lied to you. And that's what these channels do all the time. But the reason you click on them is because of emotions. You're the emotional one. Because you're hopeful that, once again, hope is not a plan. It's not what you should hang your hat on. But you click the video anyway because you're hopeful. And they got you every single time. So those lawyers that you're claiming are factual, okay? Well, maybe they have facts in there. Yes, there's a case going before a certain district court that potentially could overturn certain things. Totally get it. Totally get it. But let's just be honest. What's the odds? I mean, we all know that an asteroid could hit the Earth tomorrow, right? It could. But what really are the odds? I mean, it's probably very slim. So there is a chance tomorrow that some court will say the NFA is completely unconstitutional. There's always a chance. Okay? But you got to be real. You have to be realistic. I like to think I have facts and history on my side. The NFA has been around for almost 100 years. So it's not going away tomorrow. Not going away tomorrow. And I'd bet my life savings on it. Okay? It's going to be here next week. It's going to be here next month. It's not going away. Same thing with the ATF pistol brace ban. You guys can say, shall not be infringed. ATF can't create law. Jason, you're an idiot. There's all these cases and all these districts and blah, blah, blah. Fine. That's totally fine. You are allowed to every day be hopeful and then have your hopes dashed and then have somebody else come to you and say, oh, it's going to be overturned tomorrow. The free beer tomorrow, right? Free beer tomorrow. And you come back the next day. Okay, it didn't happen today. It's free beer tomorrow. NFA gets repealed tomorrow. NFA gets repealed tomorrow or next week. And it never happens, but you never forgive them for lying to you the entire time. You just keep on clicking on those videos. And I don't do that. I just tell you how it is, If you don't want to be rational, logical, and look at history and claim that I'm the emotional one when I can say, hey, this is the way it is, this is what's happening, and next week, we're still going to have the ATF pistol brace rule. Next year, we're still going to have the ATF pistol brace rule. Next decade, we're still going to have the ATF pistol brace rule. Why do I say that? Do I want it? No, of course I don't want it. But look at the bump stock stuff. We were told as soon as that happened, oh, it's going to be overturned. It's unconstitutional. You can't do that. ATF can't create law. Well, here we are literally 7 years later, and the ATF created law. It did. Matt Hoover is another great example of CRS firearms. Everyone still is talking about him and him getting sentenced, and a lot of my videos where I talk about him are still getting clicks. And people are still upset about it and so forth, But I said, he poked the bear. And they said, well, he shouldn't go to jail. Okay, fine. He shouldn't be in jail for what he did. However, if you are so passionate about what he did and think it's okay, why don't you personally pick up that mantle and start making those auto key cards and selling them yourself? Because in your heart, rationally and logically, that you don't want to poke the bear yourself. You're fine if somebody else is doing it because you have no skin in the game, right? And you can be all mad, say shall not be infringed, ATF can't create law, whatever. And I agree, but that's not how our government and judicial system works. You have to work within the system, whether you like it or not. Now, if you want to go on a one-man crusade and try to change it, more power to you. I support you 100%. But look at the odds. The odds of you overturning the NFA by you creating an auto key card is not very good. There's a chance, but it's not very good. So I think he's got to put things in perspective. If you were that passionate, you would pick up and say, Matt Hoover is a martyr. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to pick these up and I'm going to make them and sell them and do it exactly the same way because the ATF can't create law. But why don't you do that? Because it's poking the bear and you don't want to risk your life. You don't want to risk your, wealth. You don't want to risk your family. You don't want to risk your freedom. You want to do it because logically, rationally, it will get you in trouble. But when somebody else does it, you can be a big loudmouth on the internet. But you won't do it yourself. Okay? Now maybe I'm wrong. Maybe one of you guys will go and do it. But You have to know the consequences if you do. So anyway, that's what I talked about. Someone claiming that I'm the emotional one, when I just have history, facts, logic, reason on my side, and I know everything. I know when I say that, it pisses everyone off. But yeah, I do, because I'm right, because I'm not here to lie to you. The ATF pistol brace rule will be here tomorrow. It'll be here next week. It'll be here next month. It'll be here next year. It'll be here next decade. And most likely, when you take your final breath on this earth, the ATF pistol brace rule will still be in effect. Just like the NFA will be in effect. Just like all these other things. So you either have to accept it, learn to work within the system, because one man can't change it. Okay? And I can tell you there's not enough political motivation, there's not enough political mass to move the ball in the pro-gun direction to get things overturned. Okay? For a number of reasons. I know that on my channel, whenever I talk politics, like about Donald Trump, okay, whether I'm pro or against him, I talk about how he was against the Second Amendment. But I have people that say if he becomes the nominee, they're not going to vote for him. Okay, that's totally fine. But then, because you're a never Trumper, that divides the party, divides the vote, and then the Democrats win again. So there's just never going to be that political mass and motivation for enough people to overturn it. So you're going to have to accept that the ATF can create law, not because constitutionally they can, but because in practice they are. And you have to understand that shall not be infringed actually means shall be infringed. You just got to get used to it. And you have to work within the system, because you can't change it. I can't change it. It's the way it's going to be. And you have choices to make. And you can either be a squeaky wheel that will get the oil from the government, if you guys know what I'm saying, or you can go along to get along. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you the facts. So, if you think I'm emotional, that's fine. But I don't think I am. So that was just what I wanted to say. So, as always, thanks for watching.